What's up everyone, this is Yuda from BeatLab Academy. We're back with another review of a plugin, Should I Buy It? Today we're talking about a bit of an older plugin from Audio Realism called Baseline 3, which is an emulation of the TB-303 from 1982, legendary synthesizer, a kind of a bass machine, was designed to replace the bass player, at least in rehearsals, failed miserably. Then early house artist came and kind of misused it and created acid house, which of course was techno later on, and we own a lot to this machine. Okay, so I have it loaded up in Ableton here, and this is just the default patch. Now you can click one of your keys on your MIDI controller and just gonna trigger the pattern. Now as you can see here, whenever I click a different note, it triggers a different pattern. So you have many patterns, as many keys as you have, you can trigger them. Sweet. We can also hit the spacebar on your DAW. I'm using Ableton, and it just also starts. Awesome. Now, right here we can click for some general settings. So I did change my GUI to large. This is the large size. You can also change the skin. I think there's one more skin you might be able to download more. Change background, a bunch of stuff. There's cool export settings here, like export into Reason, exporting as MIDI we'll talk about later, importing patterns, and some other stuff. Okay. Now from here you can actually load pattern. I don't really like this loading system because it opens up a Finder window, but you have a lot of patterns that from different artists that comes with it. But again, it will be nice to be able to load them differently and not just from that Finder window. And here we can actually change just the pattern itself in the preset. Nice, here we can change the main waveform. So before that, let me bring up the cutoff so we can hear that. Resonance. Okay, and we can switch from a saw wave to a square, kind of like the classic one, right? And here in the middle, we have the classic sequencer. This is what it actually you work with in the original TB-303, and today also in the new one, the TB-03, the new releases. But this is the classic pattern editor. And here we can decide how many steps. So right now, let's keep it 16th step. Here we can see which step we're on. So let's say we're in step number 1, we can decide the pitch. So let's keep it at C. Let's go step number 2, we'll put G. So now if we play the pattern, right, we can hear that the second note is that repitched. And then we can continue, and let's say this one, let's put an octave higher, and let's also do an accent and a slide. So let's listen to the accent. Accent is right here, that's the amount of it. And let's go into change a few parameters for that note, like a cutoff amount, volume, envelope modulation amount, and decay, a few together to create this accented note. Right, and let's bring up the accent amount. Right, so now we can hear it. So first of all, we can see in the accent amount in Ableton, in the master track, we can see that here we're actually clipping. What I like about this is in the main settings. You can go here and you can turn on, where is it? Output clipping. Let's turn this on. Nice, and now we can see it doesn't reach the reds, just have a built-in clipper, which is great. So you can accent whatever notes you want. Let's go to the next step. Let's do like, whatever, let's do E. Nice, and we can click on slide, which will tie it together with the next note and slide to it. Okay, we can hear that. Super dope stuff, all from the original, very authentic. Now if we click on a note again, we can go up an octave, or yellow is 2 octaves. Okay, so you can access that. Although you also have here up and down, so you can also do octave lower or octave higher. The reason we have this also here, go up an octave, is that you can turn this two on to create vibrato. So let's sequence a few notes that are slide. So let's go back, slide, 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 and let's turn on right here this two. I have to go back to create vibrato. Okay, just to turn this two on. Okay, just so we can hear it. Nice. Now, you can also turn off the gate if you don't want that note to even play. So let's go and turn off a few notes here. Nice. And you can even record your steps that you want. So if I hit record, it's going to go back to the first step, and now I can hit whatever note I want on my MIDI keyboard. Okay, nice. And let's play that. Let's close the step record. And let's run it. Right? And it also received all the accents and slides. If I had two notes overlap, the octaves, of course. And if anything is above 100 velocity, it's also going to accent. So record is really great to create your own patterns really quickly by just playing them. You can copy and paste different notes to different ones. And you even have randomize here, which will randomize the pattern. That sounds really authentic. Nice. So random will take each step and will randomize the pitch, the up and down, the accent, and the slide. Alter would not randomize the notes, it will just randomize the order of them. So if you have a scale or anything like that, might be good to keep it, use alter and keep the scale and just reorganize the notes themselves. So same pattern, just the notes are reorganized. Nothing is repitched or accented or slides. Nice, so we said here's the amount of steps that we have in our pattern. We can auto advance to the next step when we edit. So that's the auto advanced. Here we can clear the pattern. And by the way, in auto advanced, those going up won't work. So auto advanced, let's say for here, I can put this step number 5 here. And now it's step number 6, 7. Right, so it's just auto advanced. But in auto advanced, you cannot click again to go to higher octaves. Okay, just so you know. Clear will clear the pattern. And then we can also shift everything forward in time. Right, or up and down in pitch. Nice, and here we can just run it. So this is the classic pattern, classic editor, and it's super dope kind of to get the feel of the past. Now, it's not obviously hands-on with the actual device, but it's great to have that access. But because it's a plugin, there's no reason to have even more modern features like the pattern editor. Let's switch right here to the pattern editor. Whatever you do in the classic, let's randomize this. It will also appear in the pattern editor. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to clear it right here. Nice, and here on the top we can see which step it is. We can use the vertical kind of scroll bar to go up to 64 step pattern, but we're going to keep it 16. Here we have the pitch. We can drag up and down to change. We can open up right here with the arrow. We can unfold all the pitches with sliders, so it's much easier to repitch each step. We can even hold shift to kind of draw them if you want to draw, right? Let's close this. Right here is the gate, so which note is active. Right, lower octave. I couldn't understand how we can do 2 octaves down or 2 octaves up in this window. But then again, we have the sliders, so we can access other octaves here. But that was one question that I had. I couldn't figure it out. Here we can also add accents to each step. All right, let's add some accents here and some slides as well. Nice, so that's the pattern editor. Here we can decide how many steps are active. We can even go up to 64 as we mentioned and clear it. So it's super awesome to have the classic one, but it's so much easier and faster to use the modern pattern editor, and you can use them in conjunction, which is really cool. Next we have a kind of interesting option, which is the wave detector. Here we can load a pattern. They do bring 2 patterns with them. So if you have an original 303, you can just record the pattern. Here they use MP3s, I think that's what it accepts. Load it, you can play it, right? And then we can essentially detect the pattern and use just the pattern with the ABL. So let's detect that. Excellent, and let's play it. Right, so it takes whatever original recording was, detects the pitch and the accents and the slides and all of those, and make a pattern out of it, which is super awesome. Here we have the random window, which again, another great addition to an emulation of an old synthesizer. Here we can decide on the scale. Let's do minor pentatonic. Actually, with the blues. Let's do the blues. We'll add this blue note here. Let's do only octave above and octave below as a random option. Here is how many note pitch differentiation is going to be with the randomization. So let's not go 100%. Some notes can repeat. Which notes are active? So most notes. How many slides we have? One tiny bit of slide. And accent, let's go like something like this. Nice. What's the root note? We can change here. And then we can apply. And that's it. It created a random according to this now. What's nice about this is that because the apply is activated, I can change it in real time. I love that option. Everything slides. You can go to the next randomization option, or you can go back, which is also awesome. So we kind of, every time we randomize, we can save some of the randomization with the previous. Right here we have fixed scale, so we'll essentially go just according to pitch, one by one in the scale, and this can be good for arpeggiation or just debugging if you have the right scale and the right notes and so on. So this is really great, the random generator. Lastly, we have here a kind of like inside the engine, even more customization to the sound. So we have Vco modes. Number 2 is the default and the original kind of ABL original algorithm for this. We have Vco mode 1, which is very clean and kind of similar to like regular emulations of 303. And number 3 is similar to number 2, like authentic, but a bit less dirty, a bit less bottom heavy, like a lot of low end. You can add vibrato, you can add clicks. Sometimes there's clicks with all those envelopes and the high cutoff resonance. You can add original noise, synchronize with the host or not. Note mode. Note mode essentially turns it into a regular synthesizer and not a sequencer, so you can just play like a regular instrument. And you can reset the phase of the oscillator, so every time it starts from the same point, might create more of a laserish type of sound into the beginning. Improve emulation, yes. Here we have a few things that we can detune. Trim the voltage control filter, so essentially like kind of offset it. Built-in high-pass filter and bass booster. Okay, amazing. Now, I just want to mention some extra cool features like importing the TB-303 pattern, loading a tuning file, which can give you access to micro-tuning, which can be super dope. One thing that, and here you can also access the triplets, so when you turn this on, now the pattern will be according to triplet timing. I don't know why it's here in this menu, it's kind of weird. And also I can't really take a MIDI track in Ableton, get the MIDI from the ABL, it won't really work. So you will need to actually export pattern as MIDI and then import it into Ableton or your DAW if you want to use it just as a pattern with other instruments, or just have it run with MIDI notes so you can adjust it. Overall, one of the best authentic emulations of the TB-303. Absolutely amazing. I even saw some dancing happy face running here at some point, because I started turning everything up, and all of a sudden, there was like happy faces running on the screen. So in any case, I think the developers put a lot of love into this device, and it's not new by any means. It's fairly old, but still providing an authentic emulation of this bass machine from the 80s. So if anyone needs it now and then, this is amazing. If you're a techno artist, I would probably recommend getting one of the originals or one of the new ones, because nothing beats hands-on control. But the sound is almost, if not identical. Really great stuff. So Audio Realism Bassline 3 or ABL3, awesome stuff, really great developers. And we're going to have a more detailed review on our blog, of course, like always. So check it out in the link description. And let us know which plugins you want to see. Hit subscribe and like. We got a lot of videos coming up. And I'll see you next time.